Buenos dias and welcome to More Colombian than an Arepa podcast. I'm Sam, your host, and today I am joined by an amazing man who has so much expertise in insurance, law, all the things here in Colombia. And so I'd like to introduce my friend Sebastian, who is going to be here to talk about health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, all of the things here in Colombia that you might find interesting or that you might have questions about for your time spending here in Colombia. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. We are so lucky that you are on this podcast. And I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background, what you do, and let's just jump right in.
All right. Thank you for having me. Well,
we're so happy to have you here.
Well, my name is Sebastian. I'm a Colombian lawyer for almost 10 years now, almost 11 years now. Like you said, my specialty is litigation, and I already did I have a postgraduate studied in insurance companies and liability. So my experience comes basically that back in 2014, when I graduated as a lawyer, I started working in a law firm that represented about 7 or 6 insurance companies. So
okay.
For about 8 years, I was defending the insurance company and the people that got the insurance. And if you had an insurance with one of our companies, then you got involved in a crash and you created some liability and you got sued, then we were the ones that will come to back you up and get you of all the problems. So
got it.
That is basically my experience with litigation, and because when you have an insurance and if you have a lawsuit, you can get if you have an insurance and you actually have problems with your insurance, then you will probably need to go into a lawsuit. So that is why I had to study the basic insurance that you already mentioned it, like car insurance and home insurance and health insurance. Not that much, but because of my wife, my family, and everybody, then you will need to know about health insurance because it's basically I think the best insurance that you can have or the best service that you can have in Colombia. So
right.
That is the knowledge.
It's amazing. Okay, so then with your background in insurance, did you go to school for insurance, or did you just get out of school and really enjoy working for insurance companies and all of that?
I did both because the experiences or this lawyer's office, they just litigated with insurance. So when you're defending or you're attacking an insurance, you actually need to know the technical data and how does all the coverage and all the insurance policies work. So I got involved and it was pretty good. And actually after that, I did a postgraduate studied in insurance. So you cover the basic insurance. It's basically transportation. It could be airborne, or you could be by sea, and the basic or the most popular one that is car insurance. So those are the 3 ones.
And I'm so grateful. Nick and I have always been grateful for you because you've been a huge asset in our move here to Colombia. You, Sebastian, actually helped us find, I think, home insurance, car insurance, and health insurance, all of the 3 things that we're going to talk about. So I think it's you're the most perfect person to come in and talk about this because it is a very common question, especially with health insurance. What does that look like here? There are certain visas that you can get to come to Colombia, to spend time in Colombia, and they require certain health insurance plans to go alongside of it. So I think it's so great. Thank you so much with your expertise. It's so helpful knowing all of the options that we have available. So I know you also mentioned that you just opened your own law firm.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your law firm and what you all focus on, all the people that work in the law firm?
Exactly. So my first law firm is called Botero Villegas Abogados, Botero Villegas Lawyers. With my expertise, the main subject will be liability, claims against insurance companies, and basically will be car incidents. And well, in a kind of a medium term goal will be, we can either start claiming, like protecting or claiming in favor of the victims, or specialize in this kind of coast territory or this zone that is like 5 hours away from Medellin, and to get to represent all the insurance companies. So
that's amazing. Congratulations. That's a big step forward, and I'm very excited for you. Probably a lot of work that you're doing right now. And are you the only one on your team that speaks English, or are there other people?
No, I'm between the 1% of lawyers that actually, Colombian lawyers that actually speaks English. So, nope.
Oh, well, we're lucky that we found you, because our legal Spanish is very limited. But, well, thank you so much. Let's jump right in. I would love for us to kind of focus this podcast on 3 different insurances. Let's first start with health insurance. And then from there, we'll dive into a little bit about car insurance, because there are some foreigners that do buy cars here. And it's really important to get car insurance for foreigners. And then we'll end with home insurance too, because there are a lot of people that do buy properties here. And if they don't have a property management company, they have to go in and find their own kind of home insurance. So if we could go ahead and first start with health insurance. So what I would love is for you to give us a little bit of insight into the different types of health insurance, the different types of like healthcare plans that people have to have when they come here, and then some of the more private ones that they can upgrade to as well, if you don't mind just kind of diving right into that.
All right, so I'm gonna start with a question.
Okay.
What was your first thought when you heard the word EPS?
Okay, so EPS, I had no idea actually at all what that was. And then I found out after some like situations that I thought we had private and then we didn't have private, that we had only EPS. And so my answer to that is I had no idea until I needed it to know what that was.
All right, so that is like the first barrier, because EPS is like an entity that gives health service. And in Colombia, it is mandatory that every citizen has a health insurance.
Right.
No, a health program, right?
Right.
So if you're, I can't do this word is very very difficult for me. It's subsidized. So
Yeah, subsidized.
So exactly. So if you don't have an income, if you're poor and you don't have the income, or you don't have you don't have money to pay for a health plan, then the government will give you that attention.
Okay.
So if you need an emergency, you can go to almost any ER room and you will get attention, and you won't have to pay. Or if you pay, you will pay like 75 cents of a dollar to get attention. And after you're good, you just go away, and you won't have to pay anything.
You won't have to pay anything else.
No, if you don't work, right? But for people that actually work, and you already mentioned it, that there are kind of some visas that will let you stay here. But if you're here for more than a month, just take that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to stay in Colombia for more than a month and you're actually planning to stay here, then you will be to get into the social security system.
Yes.
We can make an exception, because every Colombian that is actually working in Colombia needs to pay pension and needs to pay health. But I think I told Nick this earlier, that if you actually can demonstrate that you're living in Colombia but you have your pension in the U.S., then you can say, like, I don't need to pay pension in Colombia.
Interesting.
I will pay the pension in the U.S. and I will only pay health here. So, like, we're not talking about health insurance, just the health program, the health service. So, after you decide that you are here and you need to get affiliated to the EPS, you can choose like from about 20 EPS, I think there are now.
Oh, really? That many?
There's a lot. And this number, I don't know the actual number, but I know there are more than 15. And the best used to be Sura.
Uh-huh.
I know you guys are in Sura, actually.
Yes.
But Sura filed like a request to
Yeah, we
get out of
just
business.
saw that.
So,
Yeah.
so we're just waiting what's going to happen.
Okay.
Right?
But Sura was like the most popular one, right?
Exactly.
Is it still or?
It is. I mean, you gotta make the difference because Sura is three companies. It's Sura EPS, only
yes.
medicine,
Mm-hmm.
Seguros or insurance, Sura Insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and Sura risk, labor
right.
risk,
Okay.
right? So the last two are actually insurance companies, and the first one is just a
Like
health
basic health
a
plan.
health company. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So Sura was like depending a lot on Sura Insurance, and they just got to a point like, no, we're not capable of doing this, so we just want to get out, and that request is already pending against the government. So we will see and where we are going to end up because it's mandatory. Then every Colombian that actually works or is an independent and has social security needs to be in an EPS. So we will see.
We'll see.
Exactly.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
And after that, like the government will choose for you, but you can, after a month, I think you can choose to get to another one. But this is the good part is that if you, that is the basic health program, right? And we can make a small difference. So if you start living in Colombia for more than a month and you get actually to an EPS, let's say Sura still works, right? And you got affiliated to Sura, you will need to pay, and you don't work here, you just live here, but you're an entrepreneur or you have your company in the States, and you will actually need to pay for the minimum fee. It's like 165 mil monthly. It's
monthly.
Like $30.
Okay. Okay.
That is the basic.
That's the basic that you have to pay.
They won't let you die, but in case you need a specialist,
right?
In case you need some, you got all that covered, because even if they are like kind of opposing, then we have something that is called tutela, and a tutela is a judge saying that in 10 days you will need to give him the health services, and they will run. It will work, but they will actually say to the judge, okay, yeah, I have his appointment for 4 months ahead. So
trickery.
the judge will be like, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's as far as I can go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you will have it covered, but it will be long.
Yes, it'll be a long process.
Exactly. So you will first need to get to a general doctor. The general doctor will have to evaluate if you actually, let's say you're feeling bad, you have like a back pain, so you actually need a specialist. So the medical will be like, no, you don't need a specialist. I'll be like, yeah, I want to. No, you don't need it. Just take this medicine and you will be okay. If it continues, get another appointment.
And this is because it's like the lowest amount. So if you're here longer than a month, you need this, even if it's like no matter what. It's 170,000 pesos or something like that. Okay.
Like $30.
And
you will get that. You will get into the system. Very bureaucratic, very long waiting, very a lot of
red tape.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
is it EPS? Is that still EPS or no? Is it separate?
EPS, EPS is the one that gives you provides you the service. But the IPS.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Is the medical center. Is the actual medical center.
Got it.
The EPS can have a contract with 20 IPS. So,
okay.
Oh, you live in El Poblado, so you have maybe 10 IPS that you can go to, right? So you can go to Clínica Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys had already been to that. So it's like the more decent one, but it's packed always. And you have like 3 or 4 very good clinics. But, But yeah, you will always get that risk. And that is, I mean, that will be the first step. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're there, you will have to get in the line and get treatment with in a very slow rate. And if you are actually here and you're with a work visa, for example, then that means that you have a Colombian employer.
Right.
So in Colombia, it's mandatory that if you're working here, the employer will need to pay, you will need to pay 12.5% of your income. It will be in health, just in health.
Just in health.
So that will be the cost. So
okay.
And the good part of it is that the employer covers 8.5 of that, so you will only pay for 4% of that income.
Of that. Oh, interesting.
So that is how it's calculated, right?
Okay.
And that's still the basic one. So
You just like entry level.
exactly.
Okay.
It's the same. So it's funny because it's the same system for the one that doesn't pay anything, for the one that has like the minimum wage income, and for the one that has
all of it.
more than 6 minimum wages. And the only thing that it changes is the fee, right? If I earn more than 6 minimum wages and I want to go for a consultation, then my fee is about like 40 mil. It's like $10.
Right.
But the one that doesn't pay anything, it will be.
You don't have a fee.
Exactly. It doesn't, or it has like a 2,000 pesos, like 75 cents.
Oh, I see. So that's kind of like just to see the doctor.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just to get attention.
Got it. Okay.
And that is like, if you're an employee, then you will have to pay that. Like that will be like the lowest one. And it depends. Yeah, the only thing that depends on is on the amount of wages that you actually earn. I mean, if you don't get sick in a year, then the only thing that you're paying is the 4% monthly, right? That is the only one that that is the only price that you getting deducted, and that's it. That is the basic. That is the basic health program that anybody has to have it.
Okay, so I have a question for that. The basic health program, the one that you just covered, is it good? Like, is it a good health program for people?
If it's good, if you actually, if you don't have like a condition or something that, I don't know the word, something that you...
Yeah, like something chronic, something that's all the time.
Something from your family. Like my father has it, I have it.
Right.
And if you don't have like very special condition and you only need like to go once a year because, I don't know, you got a flu.
Check up or whatever,
exactly, you got like a virus or something like that, it's a pretty decent service because the ER service is very good. It's fast, like... They won't let you die.
Yes.
They will send you home like, it'll be like, oh, you just want to skip work. But if you're really dying, then you will get very good service. And very good clinics, and it depends on if you're a healthy person, then that is like your basic.
Okay, perfect.
That is your go-to. Yeah. It doesn't need to. But the beauty of the insurance, the health insurance, that I think we can jump to it right now, is that it doesn't depend, or you can have that basic coverage, right? Even if you're just an independent here, or if you're an employee, and you can get the health insurance because if you actually want to take care, or if you actually want to go to a specialist more than often, like not a very serious one, if you want to check your skin, if you want to, not static. Static is the only thing that is obviously
totally different. Yeah.
But if you actually want to get checked by a specialist or get like very hard exams or tests that they don't usually, you can't usually get it fast in the basic program.
I see.
Then the health insurance is the best option.
Okay. So upgrading from the basic program to a higher program.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good because I already have it like for 7 years now, and it's very different. Like the 1 year that I didn't have it, I have like a kidney.
Like a kidney stone.
I had a kidney stone.
No.
And it was a nightmare. Like the full day in an ER, and just like they kind of. They put me through a CAT scan, I think it was. But like 7 hours after I got in. So at the end, it was like, nope.
So you're in pain.
I don't know. Actually, well, they were good with the medicine. So
good. Well, at least that was good. But
but it was you were there like, you gotta wait because there's a lot of people in the CAT scan. So 7 hours from now.
Oh my God.
And with the health insurance, it's actually very different because you have two programs, two prices, right? Like the classic program and the global program. The classic is the one that I have. It's actually very good. If you need a specialist just because you want, people always say like, I need someone for my colon.
Yes.
How do you know your colon? Are you a doctor or something? No, I just know. I know it's my colon.
I know it.
I need someone, a specialist for my colon. Then You just go to the app, to the Sura app, if you actually have the insurance, and you can download this medical directory. It's good because if you're a doctor and you actually got into the Sura's directory, and we were talking about Sura, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think there's only two companies that offer health insurance.
Right.
Sura and Bolivar.
Yes.
Bolivar is a very good insurance company. I also work with Bolivar. But in the health, is not, I don't think it has like all the tentacles that Sura has.
It's not
with-
as like
with Sura.
comprehensive.
Exactly. So, and Sura has like 3 clinics here in Medellin just for health insurance.
Okay.
So-
Wow, I didn't know that.
and they're very good. Yeah. You have one kind of near Industriales, and the other one is Sao Paulo. It's very good.
Okay.
They're
Oh.
pretty good. I think you guys went to Sao Paulo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can get like all the tests there, and you can get appointments from one day to another.
Really? Okay.
It's pretty fast. And when you actually get it, yeah, you have to pay a fee. The classic program, it costs like $100 monthly. And whenever you need a test or a specialist, yeah, you get a fee, but the fee is $20.
And it's like just every time you go to see a specialist or whatever, you pay the fee.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And the fee varies. For example, I was in the coast where my new office is based, and I was feeling bad. And that is an endemic zone. Dengue.
Yes.
The dengue is like it's like very common there. And I was feeling bad. Like I had like 4 days like feeling bad. I thought it was COVID.
Yeah.
And they were like, that looks like dengue. You should go to the ER room. And people thought like, oh, but you're not in Medellin, so the health insurance is not going to work perfectly. Like,
So the classic worked all over the country.
35 minutes and I already have my blood test.
So what does the classic health insurance include?
A specialist. You can go to the Sura clinics. Also, you have to. You can cut the regular clinics that are already packed. You can go to Sura, and you have a lot of specialists just with the fee. You can have blood tests for free. Whatever. If the specialists say like, hey, we need a lot of blood tests or samples, you can go to Sura and it will be for free. And you have very good doctors and very.
What
good
about if you needed like a surgery? Is that also, you don't have to pay, like in the United States, you have to pay like additional to your health insurance. Like you don't have to pay additional for it.
You pay the
It's
fee.
all included in the fee.
You pay the top fee, and it's like $20, $35. That's it.
That's it. And then it's like pretty common to be able to get that surgery very quickly. Like if you need it, but it's not like super urgent, you could plan it within a month typically.
For example, I had something here like 5 years ago. It was like something that keep up
On your cheek?
Yeah. It was like a small bump, and I went to this dermatologist, and she was like, "Yeah, you need surgery." And I will call now to the insurance company, and if they approve it, I can operate
Just do
you
it right now.
in a week. And that was it. I mean, it was a small surgery. But I didn't pay. And if I didn't have the insurance policy, it would be like $1.5 million. And I didn't pay nothing.
Oh. So if you didn't have the insurance policy, those kind of surgeries would cost money.
If you want to do it with a private doctor.
Oh, I see, with the private doctor. Oh, okay, it makes sense.
If you go with the EPS, you get the surgery, but in 6 months.
Right. But if you want a private doctor, you have to pay. So because you have the health insurance, you didn't have to do that.
Exactly. You will pay the small fee.
Okay.
It's like nothing compared to the
Right.
I know there are some treatments that are very expensive, but the fee will be $100.
Minimal.
Exactly. So it won't be the comparison. It will be like more than 7-10 times the value of the actual intervention. So it's always the best option. Like you won't pay.
What about for people who have like a deviated septum? Do you know what that is? It's like people who have nose issues, that can't breathe very well, and you go get surgery. And it's not necessarily like a cosmetic surgery, right? But you can redo your nose at the same time if you wanted to. But a lot of people go, is that because that's like an elective surgery? You don't necessarily need to do that. I mean, some people do, but let's say you don't need like it for your safety of your health. but you will breathe better if you do it. Can you do those elective surgeries through the classic plan?
I did it. I mean, I got to the point that, well, the doctor that I got into the directory, and that is the beauty of it, because you get the directory, and I have problem because I have that.
The deviated septum.
This is the good one, and it doesn't
Yes.
it doesn't work, right? This one is like just aesthetic.
Yes.
It's just there, but
It's
it
just
doesn't
there.
do nothing. So this one is the good one, and it doesn't work. And I just got like five surgeons,
Yeah.
you know, like nose surgeons, otorrinolaryngologist.
Sí.
I don't know the name in English, but it's otorrino is the
Yes.
name here.
Mhm.
And I call like the first three that I searched in the directory, and the first one had agenda for a month and a half. The second one like 3 months, but the third one was like 2 weeks. For all of that, I only pay 75 mil, 50 for her, you know, the fee for her,
the fee for her.
and the 25 for the fee for the
X-ray thing,
for
or
the-
like
the thing that
Yes.
they go to your house, they connect you, you just sleep in your house with that, and they come like at 6 a.m. Just take it out, and those are the results. After that, they had to make a test, you know, like they put like a camera.
Yep,
inside.
down your nose. Yeah.
And that hurt.
Oh
It
gosh,
hurt
that
a lot.
sounds horrible.
I mean, this one
Yes.
was like, yeah. And when he saw this it's gonna hurt. I can already feel it, and it hurt a lot.
And it hurt.
It was,
But it was all included.
exactly, that was the 25 mil.
What?
Because it was the health insurance. Because I already pay $100 monthly, right?
Right.
And at the end, she was like, "Look, you have the deviation, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like minimum stuff. For me to get there and correct that, I will have to make a massive destruction just to do that.
Right.
So my suggestion is just try with this oxygen mask,
Yep.
and if it's
And if it gets worse, or if there's something.
okay, let's reevaluate. But my suggestion is don't do it now.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
my wife was there, and she was like, "What about the surgery? How much would it cost?" And she was like, "No, it's only the fee. You just have to
Wow.
talk with them." The difference with Global is that is the most expensive one is like $150, and the good thing about that is that you don't have fees in some of the services. Like I think laboratory is always free because I have free for laboratory, but if it's like a very special test, you know,
Right.
it will be like a minimum fee. But Global, I think it doesn't have fee in almost everything,
Really.
and it has a very good coverage internationally.
Really.
I know you guys, for example, have like coverage in
Yeah.
the U.S. So,
Yeah.
but for Colombians or for someone or for foreigners that
Right.
are going from Colombia to another country different from the
Right.
States, you will have like
Right.
very good coverage. That is the good thing about the Global one. But if you're not that sick, so
Right.
you're not gonna use it like very frequently, and you're not gonna fly very often. You are not getting out of Colombia very very often. Then the classic
is great.
perfect,
Yeah.
because you have like I said, you have attention like just
Mhm.
very fast the same day or the next day, and you have a very good list of a specialist that.
Yes.
And the other part is that it actually covers not all of it, but part of the treatment of the cost of a consultation with a specialist that is not on the directory.
Oh.
Yeah, for example, I went to this specialist. I was feeling like tired all the time, and there's like this medical center that they're just private, and the first consultation was like 500 mil, like more than $100, and Suda got me back like 250 mil. So
Wow.
it was pretty good.
So you have to, if you have Sura health insurance, you have to use Sura's specialists.
Yeah, the one
Okay.
in the directory. But if they're not there or you don't want to use it, you can always call. Like
Okay,
somebody
got it.
recommended this specialist, just call. Hey, I have insurance policy. Do you cover it?
see.
And they were like, okay, yeah, we can make you an invoice, and we know that we have customers that already
Got it.
put it. And the way that you claim it is just making a claim.
A
you know?
claim. Right. Yeah.
Just put the
Like a
invoice
normal
like,
claim.
hey, I had this consultation
Yeah.
with this private doctor. Please analyze. And I think I already have like 2 of those.
Mhm.
And
No problem.
yeah, they say like, yeah, we're not gonna cover it on 50%. It's like
No.
40% top. That
That's
cover.
hey, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So and that is the fee. Like you were already gonna pay all of that. But
Exactly.
okay, something you just
You
recover
get something back. Yeah.
So it is a good thing to have the.
One more quick question about health insurance, and then we'll move on to car insurance.
Okay.
There is something here in Colombia, I think, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's called EMI.
Yeah.
And is that part of health insurance, or can you explain what EMI is and whether that's part of the health insurance or if that's like a separate program?
Yeah. So EMI, that is what it's called.
Okay, Emmy, now I know.
Yeah, if you say EMI, you'll be like,
Everyone will be like,
No.
what?
But if you say Emmy, oh, you got Emmy. So Emmy is home doctors. So if you're sick, well, Emmy started like 15 years ago, maybe. It's pretty old. It's a very good service. And it was like the first private offer in health that you can find in Colombia. So if you pay a fee, I don't know the fee. It's like maybe 300 mil monthly. And you're feeling sick, you just call them and a doctor will come here in maybe in an hour top.
Wow.
I think it's the worst time that they have.
Wow.
They can be here in 20 minutes, half an hour.
Wow.
If you're bad, if you're really, really bad, then they will call an ambulance
And you have to go in.
and they will take you to an ER room. You know, they will
Right.
take you to the hospital. But if they get packed. You know, they got medicine, they got everything to evaluate you here in your house. And if they say, okay, no, I'm just gonna give you this medicine, and if it gets worse, just call again and we'll pick you up.
And we'll pick you up or do whatever.
Classic and Global includes Emmy.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Is it a different program or is it Emmy?
No, it's just like an alliance.
Alliance. Oh.
In the same fee that you pay monthly for the Classic or the Global insurance, you just can call Emmy and you got Emmy. But it will only attend the insurance. You know, like,
I see.
if you have it in, for example, if you have it and Nick doesn't have it and Nick is sick, no,
It doesn't work like
they're
that.
not like, okay, no,
Right.
it's for my husband. Yeah,
That's funny.
So no.
Yeah. Speaking of, so then that means that all of the health insurance plans are individually based, right? So like if Nick just wanted to be on EPS and I wanted to do the Classic plan, that would be totally fine. You don't have to do the same plans if you're married or whatever, or for your family or whatever.
No, the only difference is that you can get discounts. Like,
Okay.
if you're bringing your wife, okay, I can get, I can give you a 10% discount.
see.
Your family, okay, 20%
I
discount.
see.
But,
Okay.
But no.
So they offer like family discounts and stuff okay. And the same services for children, for people that are here with kids. Yeah, same services. Okay. Super helpful. Health insurance is very complicated, and in the United States, I could not even wrap my head around it here. So I felt lucky when you came into our lives and told us so much about health insurance. So thank you so much for that detail. Now I thought maybe we could move on to car insurance, and you can talk a little bit about how car insurance works here. Is it expensive for a foreigner? That kind of thing.
Okay, so I always start talking about car insurance, making the joke like, are you that brave to just try to drive in Colombia? You know?
I am not. No, we have a car and I have yet to drive and I do not drive. So no, but Nick is, yeah.
He's brave. Okay, he's brave. It's very challenging, you know.
So hard.
And sadly, well, I gotta say it. Well, I don't know that. Well, I only know the reference of the lawyer in the States. Car crash, you can maybe be entitled to compensation. You know, call us, we'll get a compensation.
You're an expert U.S. commercial.
Exactly. We can't. Lawyers are forbidden to do that kind of advertising.
Really? You can't do that here.
It's in our ethic. I don't know the
Yeah,
name.
your ethics. Yeah.
Ethics code is kind of like that.
No
we can't do
way.
advertisement.
I mean, it's probably
like that.
better, honestly.
But they do that. Like the lawyers that like to sue car crashes, they have sneaky ways to do it.
Yes.
So it's important because traffic here is crazy.
It's crazy.
And you will get in a lot of car crash with bikers because bikers are crazy, and they don't know how to drive. They just buy a bike and they don't even have a license, and they just pass the red lights and stop signs, and they don't care. And if you are not aware of Colombian traffic, then it will be difficult to get the hang of it.
Yes.
Exactly. And the information in Colombia for insurance is free. So anybody can get the information if your car is insured. I mean, you won't get private.
Right.
I couldn't get private information, but I will know that your license plate or your car does it have an insurance? Yes or no?
Right.
I can have it. And I can even go deeper and I can get the insurance company name. But it doesn't matter because sometimes it shows up, but sometimes it doesn't. But if I know that it has an insurance, then you will probably get a lawsuit. And it's bad because talking a little about law, the law obligates you to if I'm gonna sue you, like if we were involved in a crash, and it was your fault, and I got injured, and I want to sue you, then the first step is to I have to give you a citation so we can go to this lawyer, like a consul.
Consular.
Yeah, it's like a counselor. So, hey, can you please arrange your differences and get in a pack? So, yeah, how was your damage? How much were your damages, and how much are you willing to pay? And if that fails, then you can go to the judge.
I see.
So it's like a 3-month period before that happens. Sura, for example, if that happens, Sura will call the victim and will say, yeah, we know that you're the victim. We know that our insured was the one that caused the accident. We're going to pay you this money. If you take it now, then you will have this money in 15 days, and you will sign a transaction contract, and that's it.
And so Sura just kind of handles it.
Immediately. Like, they will call you. Yeah, Sura will call you the next day.
Yeah.
Not the first day.
Not the first day, luckily.
Hey, we know you got involved. Do you know who's the victim? Okay, they already know, but...
Do you have to submit anything to Sura at that point, or...?
Yeah, you just needed to advise. Just a cell phone. Hey, I got involved in a crash.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. We'll keep track on that, and they have a lot of lawyers to do that.
That's amazing.
I used to be one of those.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of that, then, what are some of the most common insurance plans for cars, like car insurance plans? You mentioned Sura. Are there any others? And generally speaking, how much does it cost?
Okay, so it will all depend. Well, I know 3 companies that I can recommend. I love Sura. You know, Sura in health, you gotta go. Is the go-to. Is the only one. In cars, it's the best one. But after COVID, the value of those insurance got way up.
Really high.
So it's very funny because in Colombia, the fee, the fee for the insurance, the price of the insurance depends on your age. And depends on if you had like a record of being a person that crashes a lot. Right. So if you're a foreigner and you don't have history,
you don't have a history here.
You're kind of young, then you will have like a regular fee. Like they won't look like, oh, you're a very rich foreigner. No, they won't look at that.
I see.
They measure the risk on the age and the activity that you do. So, oh yeah, no, I'm just a foreigner and I just want to have a car because I want to go out to a town.
Exactly.
Every weekend, something like that. Okay, so it's a low risk, so we don't have to put it like very high.
I see. Okay.
Instead of I want a car because I'm a consultant.
Right.
And I'm gonna be every day,
all
day, just driving, all through Medellin, Bello,
yes,
Envigado, and getting out of Medellin. So your risk is higher, so I will have to put a higher level. But if you're just a foreigner that got here, you will get a regular fee, and it will depend on the second item that it will be the value of the car.
Okay.
So, for example, Sura will always be the highest one. The second one that I always recommend is Allianz. I have Allianz for my vehicle, for example. And the third one will be Bolivar. Bolivar is like the pair of Sura.
Okay.
And they always like kind of compete on the price. And they have very good coverage. They have very good lawyers. They always try to conciliate. They always try to get a transaction before getting to court. So the average, or I can make an average with my car. For example, my car is valued like $20,000, and I pay yearly. I pay it's like $800 maybe.
$800 yearly
for the insurance, for my insurance, and that is like the regular price.
The regular price.
And what does it cover? It covers liability. It has a very good liability coverage because I have like 4,000, like 4,000 millones, 4,000 million. Yeah, 4,000 million pesos.
Okay, so then you also mentioned that there is a zero tolerance drinking rule here in Colombia.
Yep.
And so there's something super interesting that you literally just told me I had no idea existed. And there is something super interesting with these insurances that you buy, these car insurances. That include something for people who are drinking. So can you explain a little bit about it? Because when you told me, I mean, it totally blew my mind.
Okay, so it's called conductor elegido, or designated driver. That is the name. And like 6-7 years ago, we used to have a lot of DUI, and the fee is big. It's about kind of $10,000 fee just if you get caught driving under substances, and if you crash, it's even worse, and you will get your license suspended for 5 years. That is just the first time.
That's the first go.
Exactly. The second one, like if you pass the 5 years and you get your license again,
right,
and you get
another DUI,
that will be like banned for life.
Wow.
The license. So that's it.
Yeah.
And about the double, it will be like 60 million pesos, like $20,000. So. It's very risky. Yeah, we don't do that. Like, like 20 years ago, I was like 18. Yeah, I don't care. I'm close to my house, drinking some aguardiente. That's it.
Yes.
It's not risky. I'm not driving
no
fast.
problem.
Like my dad used to do. Like.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's embarrassing to say, but every parent that I know used to do it, and they were they didn't do it. But now it's a very risky thing to do. So the insurance companies created this program that is called Conductor Elegido, or Designated Driver. The good ones have it. I think, yeah, I mean, the one that I always use, Sura, Allianz, Bolívar, and those three. Go with those three.
Yeah, okay.
And if you get the insurance, you will have for free this extra service. So if you go out on a Saturday night, you say, no, I'm driving my car because I'm not going to drink today. But guess what? The party started good. So you met some friends that you weren't met there. Oh, you haven't seen them in a while. So you just, this is good. So what am I doing with my
drink.
car?
Yeah, what now? Yes.
Am I going to leave my car here? Am I going to DUI? Nope. So you just calculate. You need to be like 3 hours or 4 hours top ahead. Just call like numeral 265, You just have an operator. Okay, just call for a designated driver. And it actually goes out the city, Llano Grande, Rio Negro.
That is so crazy.
If you're in a party, in a wedding outside the city.
That's amazing.
So they'll be like, okay, just be aware of your phone in 4 hours. And I already use it in this car like 3 times. And it was like that. Like once it was 10 p.m. I was like, I'm gonna be stuck here until 2 a.m.
Yes.
I can maybe resist until I'm already, like 4 drinks in. So okay, well, I'll sleep in the car or something like that. No, like 3 hours. I was even having more fun than I was having when I called. They were like, hey, if you want, we can go now. Or you don't have to wait the 4 hours. We can come now. We're free. And I was like, okay, no, let's wait the 4 hours. But in another time, I was like, I have to wait for 4 hours. But no, they called me earlier, like 2 hours and 2 hours and a half early. Hey, we're available now. Come for me now. And
so what they do is they drive in like a motorcycle.
Yeah,
there are 2 of them. They come pick you up from wherever you are. And one of them will drive your car
with you in it
home to your house, park your car for you if you need it.
Yep.
And then the other motorcyclist will just have that person who drove your car like pop back on their bike, and they'll do another round for another car.
They'll do it all night long. I think they start like at 8 p.m. until 6 a.m.
That is the most incredible thing. And how many times a month can you do this? Or like do you have like a limit on how many times you can do this?
I mean, like years ago, it had a limit, like just one for the weekend, for a month. But now it doesn't. For example, with mine, that is Allianz, I don't have a limit. So
do you have to pay anything?
Nope.
Do you tip them anything?
If you want to.
If you want to, but you don't have to.
I think the only time that you actually need to pay them if the distance is longer than it covers.
Got
So
it. Got it.
I know a friend that used it to Guatapé. I know you guys been to
No,
Guatapé.
yes.
And so he was in Guatapé and he
No
called
way.
like, okay, we will call. No, we'll contact some of them and they will call you so you can negotiate a ticket.
No way.
So it was pretty cheap. He gave them like 100 mil. So it
And
was
then
like
they picked him up and drove him back to Medellin.
from Guatapé.
No
to Medellin.
way.
Exactly.
That is the craziest thing. That is such a brilliant thing to add to health or to car insurance. Like I can't get over that. That's amazing.
Imagine avoiding all the incident that could be
Yes.
out of a DUI for the insurance company. You
And
know?
it's safer for everyone on the road for that to happen. It makes
Exactly.
more sense. It totally makes sense why they would offer that service.
Exactly. And they're very reliable.
I
They're-
love that.
They're very, very decent people that pick you up. They drive good. They drive slow.
So amazing. I can't remember what plan is our service that we use? Is it Liberty or no? Allianz?
You guys have it. Yeah.
I'm on Allianz, yeah. I don't know. Nick drives, so I just show up in the passenger seat. But okay, so let's move on. We are closing out in a couple more minutes, but let's move on to home insurance and talk just briefly about the different options for home insurance for foreigners who might be buying property here but don't have a property management company, or perhaps they want to do it on their own. If you can talk a little bit about the home insurance options, that would be amazing.
Of course, yeah. You have two options.
Okay.
The basic one that it will cover the demolition of your house or a very severe damage of your house. It will cover like damages, but in kind of not in the furniture or not in the items that you have like installed, like sounds or things
Right.
like that. But like floor, doors, and walls, in case something, like a pipe
Leaks
breaks.
or something.
Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the basic one will cover all of that and only the electronics that are actually like in the wall.
I see.
Or in
Like
the,
mounted or
Exactly.
something. Okay.
It will cover that. You will just need to, like pass a report with the invoices so the insurance company knows the value of them, knows the inventory of them.
Okay.
And in case you get robbed or you suffer damages, it will cover. And the other one that is like the top plan, you can include anything that you have, like laptops, like watches,
Everything.
like anything. And I think money is the only thing that doesn't cover.
Okay.
But I mean cash. But any other thing that you reported in the inventory is covered. So.
And what are the costs of these plans, generally speaking? I know sometimes it's hard to like generalize because I'm sure it depends on a bunch of things, but generally speaking, what would be like the maximum that you've seen it?
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I think I only watched. I think I don't even. I help you with yours, and I think I didn't even saw the price on yours. And I know I helped a friend, but the only thing that I was like very detailed was with the inventory. Trying to.
See, yeah.
So you didn't get like an objection. That wasn't included in the inventory. I was like, no,
Right.
include that because.
Include everything.
Exactly, but honestly, I don't know the
Yeah.
price. I know it can depend on the area.
Right. Oh, okay.
And depends on the estrato, on
Uh-huh.
the sector that is on. Poblado is usually a safe place. So
Right.
For thief, I mean, that kind of coverage won't be very elevated.
I see.
And I mean, I think Poblado is one of the safest areas in Medellin,
Yeah.
so it won't go that far. But
Right.
but if you're trying to get insurance in another, kind of a more low, level zone, that it can get expensive because the risk is measured of
Totally.
all the
All the environmental things.
Exactly. So
yes. Okay.
A building in El Poblado can get better coverage for an earthquake because it had like a more serious company and
Yes.
it has more technology for the building. That having one in
Yes.
San Javier in Santa Monica, in
Yes.
those kind of
Totally.
So it will depend on that. And it will also depend on the things that you actually have.
Okay.
That is the inventory.
That's true.
part.
Right. You're the inventory part to it.
Exactly.
Okay. So how do people, for these three, health insurance, car insurance and home insurance. How do people go about getting them? Like, do you offer these services? Could they come to you for these services? Or how do people go about starting this process? Because that's something that we had no idea about. So when we first got here, we didn't even know where to start, and our first health insurance was all messed up. So would love your advice on that.
So sadly, no one speaks English in the insurance company, and you have very decent agents in Medellin selling insurance, but they don't speak English also. I've been a lawyer of a company of a company of one of my relatives for more than 4 years now. And I met an agency called Contexto Seguro, and they were the ones that actually, not for the health insurance, but for the car and for the, actually, for the health and for the home insurance, you have insurance with Contexto. And I help them, I can help them. And if anyone needs to buy an insurance, I know Contexto has very, very competitive prices. They have links with Sura, and they can have like very good negotiations to level up the prices in car and in home, because health is always the same. The health insurance will always depend if you're a very sick person and you have diseases, like carrying diseases. Not diseases. If you have a condition, right? And the best thing, and this is a lawyer advice, the best thing is not to hide it, is to tell, hey, I suffer from hypertension.
Exactly.
I have that. So just be aware that I have it. So the insurance company can say, okay, I'm not gonna insure you, so I'm not gonna sell it. Or he says, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
I can take it. Or, okay, I'm gonna charge you just a little bit so you can have that covered. But if you stay quiet and you just keep it to yourself, then you won't get coverage.
Right.
But in Contexto is a very good agency, and they will always give you all the best options.
Amazing.
And I work with them, so you can contact me, and I will be there, clarifying anything that you need, because sadly the language is always a barrier here. Yes. And as good as Contexto can be, and they can give you the best attention and the best advice, they
might be a language barrier if you're limited.
You can contact me, and I'll be there. I won't be like, just go and no. I can be just advising, and
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so with that being said, how can people contact you? Tell us like where people can follow you and get in touch with you.
Okay, well, we got already Instagram. I think I have it. It's Botero Villegas Abogados on Instagram. Okay. I think I can pass you the ad, so the profile, so you can have it. Yep. But you guys can contact me there. I have my email, my WhatsApp, and whenever you need, don't worry.
Fantastic, Sebastian. Thank you so much. This was such an informative, just hour talking with you. Honestly, like Nick handled a lot of this and I didn't know a lot of it. So I got to learn so much from you. You have so much expertise, and we're so grateful not only to get to tap into your expertise, but to have you as a friend. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are eternally grateful for you. I hope everyone has found this podcast to be very helpful and interesting for you if you're looking to move here full time, spend a little bit of time here. And I think that it was a great hour chatting with you. So muchísimas gracias.
No, muchas gracias to you. Thank you for having me.
If you are new here, make sure to follow us on our social media channels. We're on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube at More Colombian Than an Arepa. We also have our videos too. So if you want to see our lovely friend Sebastian, then check us out over on Spotify Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Desire Podcast, wherever you listen to us. If you know someone who is interested in living here or spending time in Colombia, who might need health insurance, might need car insurance, might need home insurance, then definitely pass them this podcast. Let them know that we're here and we have resources for them. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Sebastian. And until next time, hasta pronto.